Hello, and you're listening to the Tiny Vet Podcast with me, Dr. Nicole Sue, veterinarian, and my partner,
Comedian Jez Watts. I just would like to lead a cheer. All hail Queen Stormy, the three-legged rabbit who is ruler of Nicole. She who is servant to possums, vassal of Stormy, whose liege is a total bitch.
She's being such a bitch.
To her subjects. How are you, my love?
Grumpy now.
Grumpy about Stormy? For a bit of context, Stormy, one of our two rabbits, has 3 legs, doesn't like being picked up to go and cuddle, but she does like the cuddling.
She likes the cuddling.
But she's now had like a general policy of just, I don't know what you would call it.
Being a little turd?
Yeah.
The turd policy?
Like whenever you're not in the house, she comes out and is her normal self and like is playful and interacting and stuff. And then when you're back, whether or not you're in the room, she's just like, well, no, I'm going to be as far away from people as possible. She doesn't want to. She just wants complete. She's isolationist.
Oh, you know what? Maybe
you know what? She has like Trump's current national policy.
You know, maybe it's because I brought them to the clinic that day as well. Maybe that's also factoring in.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the other day I was smooching her on the head, and then I smooched her twice, and then she turned around and I smooched her butt.
Yeah, I mean, you know, smooching a butt has its own place. Anyway, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about emergency room veterinarians.
Oh, okay, cool.
Very unfairly...
I just watched The Pit, so now I have a new appreciation for the emergency room.
Right? And they're so
brutal.
Unfairly denigrated. On social media all the time, because people are like, oh, it's so expensive.
I mean, it is,
this is ridiculous. They didn't even do anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, hang on a second. How much would you be paid to work at 2 a.m. for 12 hours and dealing with people that are shitty at you all day, night?
Yeah.
You don't... It was one of the reasons why I've never done it, because I don't think I could stand it.
Well, I think you
and I can't stay up late.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the main thing is you're in bed by 8. But no, I think you've had a history of actually being very like well reviewed by clients, even though they're difficult. I think you're very good at putting all your negative feelings into a box. And
I
just
don't like it.
Being a professional. But yeah, I think the idea of in general, I think if you're in the emergency room, it's because it's not just like accidents. It's usually like problems that have gone
sometimes it is
undiagnosed, untreated. So it's like therefore potentially worse owners. But
even then, like
But also just sort of very critical stuff. So it's pretty stressful the whole time. Right?
Yeah, like no one wants to be there. But like still, man. So there was a recent article, I think, in the US, and it was something like, oh, my dog got bitten by a rattlesnake, and it cost me $15,000 at the ER. Okay, yeah. And people were like, that's ridiculous. It should never cost that much. And like,
what should it cost?
More than $15,000.
Yeah, right.
For sure. So of one dose of antivenom is $800. Cost price.
Yep.
So, and they may need multiple vials during the stay. So that's just one thing.
Yeah, sure.
So if you go, all right, once you go 800, what's one thing that they're going to need multiple times? 15,000 seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah, okay.
Because you're still paying the staff to care for them and observe 24 hours a day.
Yeah, sure.
24 hours, a day. 7 days a week.
Yeah, that's how many hours.
Depending on how long they... Yeah, like, how many hours are there in a day?
She's good at a lot of things, just not math, okay?
No, I'm really bad at it. And they probably had to run multiple blood tests a day to see how quickly the thing's dying.
Sure, yeah.
And it depends, is it one of those hemolytic type venoms where it like dissolves your blood? So they might do it every few hours in case it looks worse.
Yeah.
And for some other types of venoms, they have a neurological effect, so they may actually require ventilation. So if you think about all those things, plus the IV fluids, plus, the hours that you're going to spend, looking at the stats of the patient, changing your plan, communicating with the owners. And these owners 100% were told what the bill was going to be. So usually you update owners every 12, at the worst 24 hours with, how the patient's doing. And hey, by the way, this is what the bill is at this point in time.
Yeah, okay.
So in no way was that a surprise to them.
Yeah, but I feel like it's something where you're in the situation where your animal's in with the carers or whatever. It's like at that point you have to just either say yes or no.
Yeah.
You can still be mad about it.
Yeah, but don't
People
go
love
online.
to be mad.
Yeah, but don't go online and be like, oh, they were terrible when they were trying so hard to save your pet.
Yeah. I mean, no, I totally understand. I think it is a natural human impulse to assume people are trying to like screw you over. I think
People think that about vets a lot.
people think that. I think about any perceived authority, right? Whether it's the government, whether it's business, whether it's someone who's smarter than you, more educated, who you have to call doctor.
I was going to say, yeah, the education system has failed.
Well, I mean, it's better here than a lot of places, but but no, I think there is a natural impulse to assume if someone's in authority, like, then they don't have your best interests at heart. And I think when it comes to vets, they don't necessarily have the client's best interests at heart. They have the animal's best interests.
We would love it if the animal came in with like a note, a credit card, and a limit.
Yes, exactly.
And that'd be fantastic. I would love it so much. That was COVID, and it was lovely.
Yeah,
I had such a good time.
The detriment of like not getting the history from the client is probably outweighed by the benefit of not having to deal with the fucking client.
And also sometimes history is just useless.
No, exactly. Yes.
Like, oh, okay, and what are you feeding? Oh, dog food. I'm like, yeah, I knew that, dipshit. What kind? What brand?
Yeah. But yeah, but particularly in terms of like, I don't think we've talked about it before, but like the costs of running a clinic, like most clinics aren't super profitable.
No, it's a bad business venture.
Yeah, like there's you work for Green Cross now, and they're actually like sort of a efficiently run business.
Yeah.
In a way that most clinics are not.
But
which is no like shade on the clinics. It's just it's a hard business to make
what's
profitable.
So funny, I like kind of told my mom a little bit
about
like the profit margin. She was like, "Oh,
no, it's a bad business.
Is that it?"
People
like,
don't.
Yeah.
I mean, but because the end costs are high, people assume
the end costs are so high.
They must be making a bunch of money. It's like but like rents are high, staffing's high, equipment is high, like getting
drugs.
Chemicals.
Yeah.
And yes, exactly. All of that stuff is the overheads are very high, and then obviously running in an emergency room that's open in the hours that regular people would sleep. Is more expensive, you know? Your staffing is much more expensive, particularly here in Australia, than it would be if you were open during regular hours. And, you have to, whether animals are there or not, those staff are getting paid. So that, I think, is all folded into the costs.
It is.
When you go into the emergency room, it's like, well, we've got to pay everybody more to be there, right? At 4 a.m. or whatever. Yeah.
That being said, though, like, usually they're busy.
No, absolutely. There are not enough clinics.
Because the other thing is...
There's not enough nurses.
Yeah, people complain about wait times. And it's
Yeah.
the same thing where you don't want to show up to an emergency room and be seen first. That's very bad. That is the opposite of what you want, because it means you're dying now.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So emergency rooms run on what we call a triage system.
Yes, sure.
So the sickest about to die ones are seen first, and if you have a broken nail, you get seen last.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So you definitely do not want to be seen first. And a lot of ERs as well, they'll have a nurse look over the pet, and if let's say they've come in for a lump or something and it can wait, they'll say, it's fine, it can wait, go home.
Yeah.
We won't charge you because you haven't seen a vet, book an appointment with your GP.
Yeah, sure.
But if there is any doubt there, then of course you're not going to say that, because you don't want to say that, then send the animal home and something happens.
Of course, yeah.
Something that always gets me every time I see people complaining about an ICU bill or an ER bill, because what do you want? That's just how it is.
So you've never done ICU,
I think about it once in a while.
You've never done a shift ever?
No.
Didn't you have to do it in like training and stuff? Like,
I did. Well, I mean, not as
you were
a
supposed
vet.
to,
I was as a vet student. So
are you not a doctor? Is that what we're finding out?
There was
you never got your degree?
I did have one shift for overnight ER.
Yeah.
I fell asleep. I woke up at 7 a.m. and no one realized.
You woke up with a dog licking your face, like,
yeah. Hello. And then I just quietly left.
Yeah, okay. So you did it one time and you didn't even do it.
I mean, I think I did a couple others when I was in vet school, but yeah, I just can't stay up late.
No, you're a morning person. Yeah, that's been a consistent source of tension in our relationship. I am a night guy, and you are a morning girl.
Regardless of the time, if you complain about the emergency room, I will punch you in the face.
And then you have to go to one.
See?
Because she's
Suck
incredibly
it.
strong.
Suck
Despite her
it.
tiny size, she's packed with muscles.
You'll die.
How much can you bench now?
Oh, I can't bench a lot.
All right, how much can you deadlift? What do you do? You do deadlifts now, right?
80 to 85 kilograms.
She can deadlift 85 kilograms. So if you're less than 85 and you complain about an emergency room, she'll make you dead. That's a vet promise.
It is.
That's a tiny vet promise.
It's a tiny vet pod promise.
Is shut up and go to the emergency room. And if you don't want to pay it, well, that's on you.
Thanks. Bye.
The Tiny Vet Podcast is independently produced.
To support us, go to patreon.com/tinyvetpod. Please like and subscribe. Hug your pets!